Hey, y'all. Hey, faith and finance. Why do ministry leaders undercharge? Well, I can tell you why. Because a lot of people have really been told a different narrative in their theology and how they learned about Christ and who he is. And ultimately, many people believe that it's humility, it's an act of humility to wear yourself out by serving, by doing your purpose, and making sure that everyone knows that your willingness to be, your willingness to serve, your commitment to Christ is to wear yourself out and do it like you're putting on a badge of honor, like you're getting the trophy, like this is a win. And you believe as a ministry leader that it is a win to wear yourself out. That's like the sign. The ultimate sign is if I am exhausted by the end of this, I think I've won. Yeah, that is what ultimately is the mindset of someone who doesn't know their worth. It is the mindset of someone who looks at how not only do they view themselves, but their own. This is actually the fruit of your own relationship with Christ. This undercharging as a ministry leader in your business is ultimately what happens when you don't recognize that the life and the fruit that you're giving out is a absolute result of the theology that you were taught about how to give of yourself. You don't actually know, you haven't understood that it's more about serving in the kingdom and pursuing and doing your assignment than it is about pleasing the person that you're actually serving. So that's just part of the assignment. The people that you serve, that's actually the assignment. But you're just making sure that as long as you feel wore out, that's your labor unto the Lord. And it is not. Sorry, friend. It is not your labor. There is a scripture that says that the workman is deserving of their hire, which means that you deserve to get paid for your gifts. And working your gifts is not always necessarily that you're working in your local church. I'm talking about outside of the temple. I'm talking about, okay, whatever it is that you are good at, whatever your expertise is, if you know that you can teach, if you know that you can create a product, if you know that you can think critically, use your brain and build something or invent something, it should also have a price tag to it. If you know how to leverage events and you know how to do that sort of thing, that should have a price tag. And we should be willing to pay. So there's this old narrative where people believe that if you're a faith-based business, you should always be the lowest priced entity. But it's not about confidence so much in what you're actually charging. It's actually about your theology. And so the question is, why do ministry women undercharge? And I particularly talk about women in ministry because I can relate. No, I can relate on so many levels. There's so many layers to this because I have fallen into this category. No longer do I think this way, which is why I'm wanting to share with more. Why do people believe that charging people for something is unspiritual when the world does it without fail, without shame? And I have never heard, I think I've only maybe seen, it's less than a handful. I would say maybe one or two who, who do offer a high ticket service. You just don't really hear about that. You don't really see it either. This is not something that is common in the coaching space, in the drop shipping space, you don't have those testimonies of a lot of people who proclaim themselves as a believer saying, oh yes, I'm faith-based, whatever, or I got this kingdom business, and confidently say, this is what I do, this is what I charge, and they're not ashamed of it. A lot of people are ashamed about it. And there's a many layers to that. Um, one of the layers is just having the wrong mindset about their own relationship with money. Because many people's relationship with money is based upon this worldly view that I need to follow the world's system way of doing things. The world system way of doing things is um, when you go out and get a job, you're like, okay, I just need to make sure that my salary matches, my lifestyle because this is how I want to live. I need to make at least whatever. I mean, it used to be like, oh, because when I was in college, it was like, oh, let me make at least 35,000. That was a lot compared to the 15. That was a lot. I know I'm dating myself severely because minimum or like a low income nowadays 2026 is like 60, 70,000. That is considered low. I know that there are people who are lower, but when you're thinking about a job and you're thinking about, oh, how to live in the economy, that's just where we're at. And it's not getting any lower. It's actually going to get higher. Inflation, you know how it goes. But here's the thing: God has created all of us to do different things. He's given us many gifts. Some of it is done with our hands. Maybe we'll make something. Some of it is really done by critically thinking, and you have to use your brain to really think about how things work, how things operate, how to put things together, how to make ball one roll down into a dip, hit the lever and jump over number two. Like, these are things that we as human beings have at our disposal. But what we as individuals, human beings, have to do is understand what that thing is, right? Understand what our gift is, understand what we're actually passionate about, what we're good at, what it is. And then when we are able to offer that to other people, it can be um, it can be a product or it can be a service that you might start free just to see. You want to see what people are thinking. How did they like that? So that's why you're going to probably offer something for free. Hey, can you try this for me? You're going to offer it to 10, 20, 30 people just to make sure that what you have actually works. And then you're going to put a price on it because the theology behind the mindset of I don't want to charge, or you're like, well, I charge for this, but I don't want to charge them again. That's the thing. Heard that plenty of times before. It's like, oh yeah, this is my first, so let me charge for this. Or you're like, I have this coaching program, or this is what I want to do, and I want to charge because I think it's worth it. But then you'll be like, but there's this event that I really want to do. But I just think that because it's the same audience, let me just give it to them for free. But you got to pay for it. So if you have to pay for it, it will be beneficial. It will also be wise to recognize the cost to host the event, to do all the things, and to recognize the poor and recognize, are you actually being depleted? Because I'm not opposed to doing things for free. Please don't get me twisted. I'm not opposed to doing things for free. I am opposed to you doing it for free and then burning out and then blaming the people. Well, all they want is to pull from me. All they want to do is pull from me. And that's not. Ice cream expired. No. And so that's not the mindset of abundance. If that's what's happening, if that is what's taking place, that is actually a doctrine of scarcity, the scarcity mindset, because you're thinking that you're being greedy. You're thinking, oh, I'm being greedy if I'm charging for my program, but then I also charge for the event. I don't want to do too much. When actually, that would be thinking about it as they're robbing you if they don't actually, but they don't know. They're just thinking, oh, I'm just getting free. I don't know if I'm invited to an event that you're actually burning yourself out. How would I know? I'm excited because I get to have this information. Maybe it's an informational event, or I get products, whatever the case. It's free, and believe me, this free is for me. Okay, on some levels, for some things. But here's the turning point that really needs to be understood is the moment that you realize that undercharging is not humility. Because you have to understand what it's doing to you as an individual. Because if you're thinking that, okay, I'm going to charge for my program, but I'm not going to charge for the event, even though it definitely will cost me thousands to put this on, I'm going to just, I'm going to just, I'm going to just let them be. I don't want to do too much. Is that what the Lord said? Is this no longer a bit? So the problem is your burnout that happens after you poured out. You pour out financially, spiritually, emotionally, all the things, socially. I mean, all of your bottles are empty. All of the bottles that you've had over here handling this event has poured out. And so it's not that the gospel is free. I don't know what you're doing at your event, right? So your event could be about anything. But you have to recognize that your labor is not. And that's what I want to help shift your mindset about. Because charging your worth is stewardship. So instead of going, I'm going to charge for the program, and not you're saying, I'm going to charge for the program and the event is going to be a set level price. This works out because I'm not burning the candle on both ends, knowing I'm doing the event to actually promote the program. And then I need people in the program to really benefit, because you're going to need testimonials. You're going to need transformation, depending on what's going on, right? Whatever your program is. And I want you to understand, friend, that undercharging, not charging your worth, doesn't actually glorify God. Now, I'm not God, but I will have an opinion about God is most likely not pleased, knowing that you have this entity that you're not making money from because you're not being a good steward over your resources and your time. And so then you come in prayer talking about, Lord, please bless. Lord, bless. I need the bills paid. You said that if I'll be lifted up about y'all a minute late. You're probably like, but I gave you this to steward and you chose not to steward it properly. And so he's going to just reintroduce the same thing. Here's what it is, friend. I need you to steward this well. You have this over here, but you have to steward it well. And so the mindset of, I'm not going to charge for this because I don't want to pull on the people, or I don't want to seem greedy, that's actually glorifying poverty. That is a poverty mindset. It's straight from scarcity, straight from lack. That comes, I mean, you and lack are best friends. You and lack are like sitting up in the room, just chilling because you're like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and glorify my poverty mindset and live in this mindset of scarcity because I'm really people pleasing because you're saying, I don't want to be greedy and pull from them. It's the same audience, you got multiple. Now, this will be another live, but I'm gonna get into it real quick, really tiny quick. Do you know that when someone likes you enough to pay attention, to buy from you, to continuously like to follow your online platforms and see what you're doing, and they're just like keeping up, right? When you have someone that's nice enough to keep up with you, did you know that people are actually looking for more ways to support you? Just think about that for a moment. If I'm following you because I love your content or I love that you have this concept about something and you're just like sharing, eventually I'm going to want to transact with you. Like, it could be a t-shirt. Does she got a t-shirt? How can I support? I'm trying to find ways to support. So if there's a way to give, let me just give because I'm learning so much. I just want to give back. That is the heart posture that is innate with everyone. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter who you are. It's just an innate heart posture of wanting to give because you're getting so much from the person. You are getting so much, you're just like, I just want to support. I'm just going to do. So when you have opportunities for people to buy from you merch or a product or a service, when you have those opportunities, find something that's evergreen because you're going to just have people coming from everywhere. Now, everybody doesn't have to stay and go through all of your ecosystem of cycle. They might not go through the whole ecosystem, but you're going to have your faves. Like, oh, yeah, I love. Some people may not always listen to your live if you're going on live, but because they love what you're about, they want to support. So they're going to buy from you. They're going to buy your merch. They're going to buy a product. Maybe they're on a subscription for something. If you don't even have that to offer, you're lacking. There is, I will say that there has been opportunity where I have followed some people, and they would be more so person because I'm really into the personal development, honey. Listen, leadership, mindset. This is what I thought about. So I've always been into it. Now there have been some people who have been in the space, but then they fell off. So I don't know what happened to them. And I would follow them for some time, but then they go ghost. And then they'd have one community for 6 months, but because I wasn't ready at the time, I haven't seen them no more. Because it probably would have taken me a year to get ready to be a part of that program. This is why once you do start, you want to be consistent. You want to make sure that you are just putting out because if you're really tapped into who you are and what you do, you're going to flood the airways. You're going to flood the airways. And that's something that, I would say, um, I'm not super big on being viral, but that's a thing of the world where they're like, oh, you do this, you can go viral. And that's good for a moment, right? Or I don't know if it's really good. I don't know how it feels to actually be in that because sometimes there are some strays that happen when that happens. And you got to be emotionally intelligent enough to handle uh, those moments and have the capacity to really expand and move forward from those things. But I don't want you to confuse humility with invisibility. I've done it for too long. I've always been what some will call a hidden gem. And I just had a poor relationship with money for a long time. Not afraid to, ashamed to say that now. Oh, no longer. Please believe. Please believe we're on the other side of this. But I recognized some time ago that I was definitely confusing humility and being lowly with loving God. Like, I love God too much to charge too much. That's what I just love God too much. I don't want it to be too much. And oh, once you get delivered from that, I'm telling you what, your life will change. You will never be the same. I'm trying to tell you. But I want you to stay close because go ahead if you haven't already. We're talking about faith and finance. Follow the business midwife everywhere. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all under Coach Elsie, the business midwife. And I am here to share how faith based business can work just as much and as well as any other non faith based business. I'm here to talk about how rest is a financial strategy. I am here to help you stop making yourself small, especially if you are one who is called to be in ministry, to do the work of the kingdom, to you have, your assignment and you know that. Some people don't know that, so they haven't gotten that far right. So that would be in a different category. But for those who know, and not just because you got a license to do something, I don't know if I need to go there right now. That's a different line. Because sometimes some people just be getting licenses because we're overachievers. Like, I did all the things, right? You're like, okay, I got like 3, 4 degrees, 2 bachelors, 2 masters, right? Or bachelor, master's, doctorate. And I did all the things, right? I even got some certificates. You know what I'm saying? I got some certificates. I'm qualified. This is what you tell yourself. I'm qualified. So I know what to do. You know what to do, but what happens is your theology stopped you from actually moving up and moving forward. Your theology actually stopped you from writing that book. Your theology actually stopped you from from doing ministry outside the church, and it just made you only consider only serving people in the temple, and it stopped you and made you think smaller. It's like I just seen this earlier today, the example of how there's a certain type of fish who only grows to the capacity of the container that is in. So you can think about like a small, um, say you had like a small, what is that? A fishbowl. What if you had like a small fishbowl, maybe like the size of 3 phones, right? You have a small fish. So if you have that for some time, it's not going to grow bigger than the size of the fishbowl. But if that fish was in a lake or a pond, it's going to get bigger because that's a bigger container. If it was out at sea, it's going to really be expanded and it's going to grow to its largest capacity because it has no walls, it's endless. And so, in the same way, your environment can help make the difference in how you operate in your ministry. Your environment, if you confine yourself to only doing your ministry in the church, or the local assembly, the temple that you attend every week. You're not reaching nations. If that was part of your call, you're not going anywhere. And so, not saying not to do that. That's just volunteer work because you're helping to serve in the church. But your actual ministry comes from the gifts that the Lord has given you. And so you need to tap into what those gifts are and just know that God didn't call you to be invisible. And so you don't want to make yourself small. You don't want to confuse humility with invisibility. You want to make sure that everything that you do, there's this phrase in the personal development world. There's this phrase that we say called how you show up. And so, how are you showing up? How are you showing up? How are you showing up at your job? How are you showing up at your kids' practice for those who have kids? How are you showing up to the family reunion? What do people know you as? What do people always come to you for? You just kind of stay in the background? Are you staying small? I know some people love it, but my charge is for you to not give away your gift for free, especially when it's a hot commodity, especially when um, it's like you're thinking, oh, it's just a hobby, or oh, I just like to do it. Why don't you do what comes naturally to you and get paid with ease? This is natural. This is something that just, it's literally seamless because working in 40-hour weeks plus jobs is for the birds. Ugh, I mean, all the birds, the bluebird, the jaybird. I would, I would even say the cardinal. I was thinking of the red bird. I was just like, it's not a red bird. The cardinal. It's all kinds of birds. I'm telling you, they can do that. They can do that. That that way of living, especially in America, I know there are some who are not U.S. based. In the U.S., the way they got these jobs set up, uh-uh. I mean, who came up with this? Who came up with the idea that adults go to work before the kids go to school? So then they gotta go get care somewhere else, and then the adults still aren't even off of work until after the kids get out of school. I don't know who came up with it, but it's got to be different. It's just got to be different. And so I'm not getting into any of that right now. All I want you to know, because it's my time is up. All right, we got Kishbon. We gotta get going. My time is up. How do you break the guilt cycle of I'm not worth it? I don't want to be greedy. I know that I'm not really undercharging because all I'm doing is doing them a favor and making sure that they only pay for this and they don't have to pay for that. That is completely unspiritual. If you thought anything was, that is. How do you break that cycle? Well, you're going to have to change your relationship with money. You're going to have to see what can, how can I think about this differently? That's what you're going to have to do. How can I think about it differently? And you have to think about it differently by recognizing where it came from. Well, you got to do a little inner work. And so that's where I come in. You got to do a little inner work. Let's do a little inner work, right? As your business midwife, I can help you understand why you think money might be unspiritual. I'm telling you, this is nothing that you're saying out loud. You're not actually saying, I think money is unspiritual. No, you actually serve it. Money is your master. You don't even know it. I cannot even begin to get, I'm going to dig deeper on this. I don't have the time right now, but guess what? I'm going to dig deeper into why you think money is your master. So until next time, friends, because I gotta go. So faith and finance is what we're on, and I can't wait to share more. Until next time, ciao.